Good morning. Thank you once again for joining me with Story Time with Joyce. And we're reading from my book, Betty, which is the first book in my Big City Dreams series. And where we left off was chapter 15, and it was called Arvin's Hen House. And what we learned was Arvin was laid off from his job at the garment factory, but he met a lady who runs a prostitution business, and she was getting out, and he decided to take the business over. So that's his new enterprise. However, he did lie to Betty and told Betty that he was hired back on his job, but just part-time. So let's see where we are. Mr. Miles, owner of the building, was just about to knock on the door when Arvin walked up. "Mr. Miles, is there anything wrong?" Arvin asked. "No, just stop by to talk with you and your wife about moving." "Moving?" "Yes, I have an apartment that came empty that is bigger than yours, and I need your apartment for my niece." "Let me explain. You see, my niece is in a wheelchair. Since your apartment's on the first floor, she could get in and out on her own. I would be willing to give you the other apartment, which is on the second floor, for the same rent. It has 2 bedrooms, and I thought you wouldn't mind giving up your apartment since you could use the extra room." He continued talking as he noticed the puzzled look on Arvin's face. "I know it's an inconvenience. However, nothing with our basement enterprise changes. Do you think your wife would be okay with moving?" Arvin collected his thoughts, and the wheeler dealer in him realized that this was a great deal and said, "Yeah, sure, we can move. Shouldn't we go talk with your wife? After all, she's got some say in this too," Mr. Miles asked. "Betty goes along with whatever I say. Just when do you need us to make the move?" "I know this is so much to ask, but could you and your family move upstairs by next week?" Arvin answered quickly, not wanting the deal to go south. "Sure, I will tell Betty." Mr. Miles said with a sigh of relief, "I am so grateful. Here is the key to the new apartment upstairs. It is already cleaned out and it's scrubbed down. Now, what do you say we go down and have some suds?" "Sure, meet you downstairs." Arvin called out to Betty, "Betty, where are you?" Just then Betty walked out of their bedroom into the kitchen. Arvin continued talking. "I just met Mr. Miles outside, and I have some good news. More good luck for us. Oh, Arvin, come sit down and have your supper. Now, what's this good luck all about?" "He's given us another apartment with 2 bedrooms upstairs." "How? Why?" "Something about needing our place for his niece, who's in a wheelchair and needs a first-floor place to live. He wants us to move by next week. I told him that we would." "Without asking me?" "No need. I knew you would love a bigger place," Arvin answered. "That's not the point, Arvin. We used to talk things over and make decisions together. I'm going downstairs to meet him for some suds. I don't want to be standing here being nagged at when I brought you some good news." "Sorry, of course I'm happy. Guess we're moving next week. I'll tell Carol and Ruth. They'll be happy. Don't be gone too long. Don't want your supper to get cold." Arvin waved his hand in acknowledgement and left to have a suds. Betty and Arvin settled into their new place with Ruth and Carol. Since it was considerably bigger, the girls got their own rooms, and Betty and Arvin once again had their privacy. Instead of 3 rooms, they now had 5. An additional bedroom, a formal dining room that was... One evening when they were sitting in the parlor, Arvin said, "Betty, our city dreams are coming true. I got my job back even though it's only short hours, and now we got us here this new bigger place to live. Luck is sure coming our way." "Yeah, you're right, Arvin, but remember, this here city dream thing is yours, not mine. Raising these girls while home brewing hasn't been easy. Now that we have ourselves a bigger place and Ruth and Carol are both in school, I'm going to get me some work. Maybe take in ironing or sewing to bring in some money, or even get me some other domestic work. Even if it, as you put it, short hours," Betty said. "Good idea. You could work more hours if you want. Since I'm working short hours, I can do more brewing. Some of the guys at the factory told me that a lot of the home brewing places are being raided and shut down by the cops. We sure have luck that some of the cops come to us for their brew, and having some of those highfalutin city guys come here too. Well, we better be watching careful and not get too cocky. I'll go over to the agency tomorrow after the girls go to school and see what they've got. Good, now let's have some of your fine cooking in our dining room and celebrate this new place. The morning after Carolyn and Ruth left for school, Betty and Arvin left to go their separate ways. Betty on her way to the agency and Arvin on his way to Lori's. Both were on a mission. Lori was surprised to see Arvin at the door and said, "Well, Mr. Javison, Arvin, you're here kind of early. Come on in and have some coffee. We can finalize all of our details of the deal. Arvin eagerly responded, "Okay, don't mind if I do." Arvin took a seat next to Lori as she poured him a cup of coffee. He took a sip and said, "Ooh, good coffee." "Thanks. Would you like something to eat?" "Nah, I had me something at home. Betty made me some biscuits and gravy." "Your wife, is she a good cook?" "Yeah, her best cooking is fried chicken. Nothing like it." What did she say about our business deal?" "I didn't tell her." "What?" "I didn't tell her. She wouldn't understand my wanting to do this. She would be nagging at me, and I hate her nagging." "How is this going to work?" "I told her that I was hired back by the factory on short hours. She won't suspect anything, especially since I will bring home cash. She'll just think I cashed my check on the way home from work." "Got it covered," he said. "Sounds like it. Okay, since you met all the girls, let's go over the books that I keep. I keep them pretty much for me, so I know how much I'm bringing in and how much I need to pay the girls. I usually pay them at the end of their day in cash, just to keep things simple. You can do it differently if you want. The one thing you do want to do for sure is to keep the names of your clients for insurance, if you know what I mean." "I do. Can I see the list?" "Of course." As Arvin was pursuing the list, he exclaimed, "Wow, there are names on this list of cops that come by my place for their alcohol." Lori interrupted, saying, "That is good protection for you. And look here, names of city officials. They also come by my place. City dreams are coming true." "What?" "Just something I say. I've always had city dreams. I never knew what that meant until now, Lori. I think we're going to make it a good team. Arvin, come on, I'm out of the business, remember? That's why you're here." "Yeah, I know, but since you're going to be living upstairs, I hope I can come up for a cup of coffee now and then." Lori responded, smiling seductively, "Any time, Arvin, any time. Now let's have another cup of coffee." Arvin caught that smile and responded, "Sure thing." Arvin and Lori were enjoying their coffee when all of a sudden they heard a heavy pounding at the door. Lori got up to answer, but Arvin stopped her and told her that now it was his business. He would answer the door. However, before the door was all the way open, a man put his foot in the door and asked, "Where's the lady of the house?" Arvin opened the door a little farther. As the man was trying to step inside, Arvin said, "She no longer runs this place. I do." Then Arvin asked sternly, while blocking the man from coming inside, "Who are you?" "It doesn't matter who I am. What matters is I'm here to collect my money," the man answered. "What money?" Arvin asked in the same authoritative voice. Fee for protection." "Protection from what?" "Listen, mister, don't get smart with me. I don't know who you are, but you'd better give me my money," the man said, shaking his finger in Arvin's face. Just then Lori called out, "Arvin, is there a problem?" Hearing Lori, the man with the shaking finger yelled back, "Hey, lady, I'm here to collect." Lori walked over to Arvin and said, "Arvin, this is the guy that I was telling you about." Arvin turned and looked at Lori and asked, "Why have you paid him?" "He threatened me," Lori answered. The man interrupted them, saying, "Hey, you guys can have your chatty party later. Right now I want my money." Arvin turned back to the man and said sternly, No more money for protection. Don't need it." "You know what I'll do to you if you don't pay," the man responded with a threat. "Not worried," Arvin responded, pushing the man back through the door. "Now get out. We have some customers coming from the city, and I'm sure you've run into them before. They'd love to know about this shakedown. Now leave." The man threatened Arvin again as he turned. "You'll wish you had paid." While Arvin was having his first business meeting, Betty at the agency was having one of her own. Thanks again. We're going to read next week. It's called 3 Boys, Lions, and Tigers, and that's chapter 17. You can pick up Betty on my website, joycebennett-hall.com, and click on the books section, or you can go to amazon.com, Betty by Joyce Bennett-Hall. Thanks again and have a great week. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.